Hello everyone, this is Paramita and I heartily welcome you to my channel Paramita PM. If you are new to my channel, then I would request you to go through the content of my channel, and if you really find these videos helpful, then do like my channel, share it, and please do not forget to subscribe to it. And now, without any further delay, let us get into the lecture. In this video, I am going to analyze the poem Ulysses by the famous poet laureate of the Victorian period, Alfred Lord Tennyson. I'll be analyzing the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Ulysses, this poem was published in 1833. Now, who is Ulysses? Ulysses is a character who appears in the famous Greek epic, the Odysseus by Homer, and he also appears in Dante's Inferno. As far as the depiction of the character or the depiction of Ulysses is concerned, in Homer's Iliad we find that Ulysses is yearning to go back home. He is struggling to return to his own home. While in Dante's Inferno we find that Dante simply condemns the recklessness of Ulysses as an explorer. But when we read the poem Ulysses by Tennyson, we find that Tennyson finds Ulysses's adventurous nature to be noble. In fact, he finds nobility and heroism in his curiosity as well as in his indomitable spirit. So now, without any further delay, let us analyze the poem. As the poem opens, we find that Ulysses says that it little profits that an idle king. It is not at all profitable for a king who is just passes away his time in ruling the people of his kingdom. Ulysses finds this kind of life to be dull, drab, monotonous, and of course futile, not profitable at all. So he says that among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal laws unto a savage race that hoard, sleep and feed and know not me. So according to Ulysses, at present his life as the ruler of the people of Ithaca, or his life as the king of the kingdom of Ithaca is not at all profitable, where he has to keep on enforcing imperfect laws upon the people of Ithaca, who he considers to be savage. Now here it is to be noted that when he calls or addresses the people of Ithaca as savage, he doesn't mean to say that they are barbaric or they are cannibalistic. He simply considers them uncivilized because they do not lead a very productive life. Instead, what they do, they simply store wealth, they eat and sleep, and unfortunately they are completely unaware of who Ulysses really is or what his life has been like. So this is what makes Ulysses consider the people of Ithaca to be savage. And then he says that he simply cannot rest from travel. He yearns to travel the world as he used to do earlier, and I will drink life to the lees. By here he compares his life to a drink, just as one finishes one's drink to the last drop. So he says that as long as I am alive, I will drink life to the lees. I will continue to do or accomplish those things, those tasks that would make my life worth living. So all times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy heads fix the dim sea, I am become a name. So here Ulysses is saying that when he went on any adventure, so whenever he faced obstacles, he enjoyed it. Whenever he faced good luck, that too was enjoyed by him. So anything related to an adventurous life is equally enjoyed by Ulysses. Therefore, he says that all the times I enjoyed, whenever I faced obstacles, that I enjoyed, and whenever I encountered good luck, that too was equally enjoyed by me. So it means that Ulysses found joy even in suffering, both with those that loved me and alone on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy haze wakes the dim sea. So he says that whenever he was accompanied by his faithful crew members, or whenever he was all alone on the shore. So both the instances were enjoyed by him. And when they sailed the sea through the rainstorms, that too, and faced, the fearfulness of the sea, the waves of the sea, when they appeared to be very fearful, still he enjoyed it. So it tells us that Ulysses is so much attracted to an adventurous life that no matter what, even if he has to face too many obstacles, hardships, still he enjoys it. I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known. Cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all. Here Ulysses says that what has made him famous. So he asserts, saying that he has become famous as an explorer because he has been always traveling with a yearning heart, with a longing heart to know more and more, to acquire more and more knowledge. And during these adventures, what did he learn? Ulysses, he has learned much about different places. He came to know about different people belonging to different places, different cultures and traditions, and the way they govern. And also, he acquired knowledge about different governments, the way they govern. Different people, govern themselves differently. So he says that wherever he went, he was respected and honored, and myself not least, but honored of them all. So wherever he went, whichever place he visited, everywhere he was respected and honored, and drunk delight of battle with my peers. So here he says that he also enjoyed fighting alongside his fellow soldiers, and here a reference is made to the Trojan War. Far on the ringing plains of windy Troy, I am a part of all that I have met. Now this line is very, very significant because Ulysses says that whichever places he visited, he learned about people, he learned about different governments, he came to know about different cultures, traditions, and he also enjoyed fighting battles with his fellow peers in the Trojan War. And then he says that I am a part of all that I have met. So he says that not just Ulysses himself as a person, but wherever he went, he has been, changed by the encounter. So wherever he went, he not only left or impacted, not only his presence impacted the people of that very place, but he himself was equally influenced or changed by these several different encounters. And that's why he says that I am a part of all that I have met. Next, Ulysses says, yet all experience is an arch where through glimpse that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. So all the experiences that he has gathered so far, they have not been able to satisfy his thirst for travel or his thirst for adventure. And so here he says that experience is like a horizon, it's like an arch, and as we gather knowledge, as we acquire knowledge, we find that every experience or every knowledge that we gain, it only heightens our appetite to see more of the world, to see the unseen, to explore the unknown or to know the unknown. And he says that since knowledge, when he compares experience, so here experience means knowledge. So he says that experience is an arch where through glimpse that untraveled world. Untraveled world means those places that are naughty, that are left unexplored. So he says that through that horizon we can see that untraveled, unexplored world, and which he at present wants to pursue. Forever, whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. So according to Ulysses, knowledge is like that horizon, and as we move towards that horizon, it seems to move further away from us, which tells us that there is no end to knowledge, or knowledge is limitless. So therefore, after having said all this, or after having talked about what kind of knowledge he has acquired from his adventurous life, and after having making this assertion that knowledge is limitless, there is no end, there is no limit to knowledge, he says that it is really pause, it is really, it is really dull and boring to pause, to put an end to traveling. So he says how dull it is to pause to make an end. So it is, for Ulysses, it is boring and unsatisfying, to confine yourself to one place and just stop doing the activities that defined his life, or stop doing those activities that can really make one's life worth living. To make an end. So if he makes an end to his traveling, if he puts an end to his traveling, then this is going to be a very boring and dissatisfied life for Ulysses. And what would it mean? It would mean like rusting his life, like a sword that is no longer used in battles. To rust unburnished, not to shine in use. So here Ulysses compares himself to a sword, and he says that it is like if he doesn't use his life for traveling or for new adventures, then his life can be easily compared to a sword that gets rusted when it is not used gloriously in a battle. As though to breathe were life, life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things. And while it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit yearning in desire, to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. So here in these lines, Ulysses tries to say that just breathing is not enough. And merely being alive, just if you only breathe, and it means that we are simply living a very dull life, and it doesn't add any value or meaning to one's life. And this really is, we really cannot consider such a life as truly life, or you can say truly living. As though to breathe were life. So for Ulysses, just breathing in life is not enough, and it doesn't add value or meaning to one's life. And then he says that even if we are given, bestowed with multiple lives, then still even multiple lives wouldn't be enough to accomplish or to achieve everything that he wishes to do in his life, even at this age when he has grown much old. So life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me. So he says that I have got only one life, and very little of it is left. So here Ulysses acknowledges the fact that he has almost reached he's almost at the end of his life. He has almost reached the end of his life because of his grown age. And he says that even I am not blessed with too many lives or multiple lives. So for him, even multiple lives are not enough to acquire knowledge or to accomplish those activities that he really wishes to do. So he says that of one to me little remains, but then every hour is saved from that eternal silence. By eternal silence he means death. But he says that yes, although very little of my life is still left for me to live, yet I can save every hour of that little life from death. How? By utilizing this time in bringing new opportunities for me, or which can help me, to perform noble deeds. So he says that although he has become old, but still but still, even at this age, although very little time is left with him, but still it has the potential to bring new opportunities for action. And while it were for some 3 sons to store and hoard myself. And then he says that it would be indeed, a disgrace for Ulysses if he continues to live an idle life, just continue to sit idle at home, eat and stay alive for a few more years. And this grey spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. So here he says this grey spirit. When he says grey spirit, he means that he has become an old man and therefore his hair has grayed. So he says that even though I am an old man, still I yearn in desire. Desire for what? He still has the longing, he still has the desire to explore the world and keep on learning more, keep on acquiring more experience and knowledge. To follow knowledge like a sinking star. So Ulysses would like to pursue knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. So he wants to go beyond the limits of what human beings have seen and known, because we all have, as human beings, we all have our own limitations. After a certain point we really cannot achieve anything, or maybe we really cannot accomplish certain tasks. But Ulysses says that I want to cross that limit. I want to go beyond that limit of human thought. I want to go to that extent which human beings can't even think of. So this tells us that how much thirst Ulysses has, in him to acquire knowledge, and therefore it becomes clear that yes, the kind of life that he is leading at present as the ruler of Ithaca really it appears to him he finds it completely unprofitable, because this kind of life doesn't provide him with any opportunity to accomplish great deeds or great tasks. The next stanza focuses completely on Ulysses' son, beloved son, Telemachus. Here in this very stanza, Ulysses introduces, or he talks about his son Telemachus, who he finds to be completely suitable to be a ruler. And here we find that Ulysses tries to say that he would like his son Telemachus to undertake this responsibility as the ruler of Ithaca, because he is completely suited for this role as a ruler, for this role of a ruler. So he says that this is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the scepter and the isle. So he's going to inherit Ulysses' role as the ruler of the island. Well loved of me, he admits that he loves his son very much, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft decrees subdue them to the useful and the good. So here he says that Telemachus is a very conscientious man. His son is very conscientious and is very thoughtful, and he has enough patience to rule the people of Ithaca. unlike Ulysses. Although Ulysses never explicitly states that he doesn't have these virtues like his son, but the way he projects or the way he talks about his son as completely, having meant that he has several virtues which actually make him fit to be a ruler, it actually, through these lines or through his words, we understand that Ulysses means to say that the degree of patience, that he has, that Telemachus, his son, has, is completely absent in him, and therefore he cannot, rule or govern the people of his kingdom properly. Discerning to fulfill this labor. So he says that his son will be able, he will successfully, in the best manner carry out the responsibilities as a ruler by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people. He says that Telemachus has the patience and the power of judgment to change, or let's say to teach or train, the people of Ithaca, and simply change them, civilize them, the wild people of Ithaca, and make them embrace fruitful, or let's say productive activities in life. So according to Ulysses, Telemachus would be he would very successfully rule the people of his kingdom Ithaca, and he would, with patience, with much patience and proper judgment, he would be able to make them, to make them live a life where they would accomplish, or where they would try to do productive things in order to make their life a valuable one, or in order to add meaning to their life. So a rugged people, like he refers to the people of Ithaca as rugged people, like fierce or wild, and through soft degrees, and this Telemachus would do slowly, gradually, subdue them to the useful and the good. So he would be successful in teaching them to devote their lives to productive civic activities, where they would no longer, live a life where they would simply eat, sleep, and store wealth. But as far as Ulysses is concerned, Ulysses cannot do that, because he doesn't have that patience, that level of patience that Telemachus has. Most blameless is he. So according to Ulysses, Telemachus is flawless. He doesn't have any fault in him. Centered in the sphere, it means he has completely devoted his life to his role as a ruler of common duties. So Telemachus is someone, he's centered in the sphere of common duties. So he has completely devoted himself to his role as a ruler, and carry out his duties and responsibilities as a ruler in the best possible manner. Descent not to fail in offices of tenderness. So wherever he is required to pay respect, there too he would pay respect. He's very tender. He would pay respect to people, and not just people, he would pay respect to his parents, and he would also continue to offer appropriate sacrifices to my household gods, meet adoration to my household gods. So Telemachus would not only pay respect to the people of his kingdom, to his own parents, but at the same time he would also pay equal respect to their gods, to the gods that are worshipped by Ulysses. So finally he says, when I am gone, he works his work, I mine. So Ulysses says that, now this, when I says when I am gone, now it may have two interpretations. We can say that maybe he's talking about the time when Ulysses won't be there, he would die. But then the following stanza will tell us what he actually implies when he says, when I am gone. Therefore, he works his work, I mine. It means that Telemachus, since he has all these virtues, therefore he is well suited for the role of a ruler. He's suitable, he's the best one who could rule the people of Ithaca, just as Ulysses, I mine, which means just as Ulysses is fit to be an explorer. So Telemachus is fit for the role of a ruler, while Ulysses is best fit for the role of an explorer. Next, Ulysses talks about the port which he could see very well. He looks towards the port where the wind blows and puffs her sail. That is, wind blows in the sails of the ship and makes it puffed. So he says, there lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. So this very line tells us that Ulysses is planning to embark on a new voyage. He's thinking of embarking on a new adventure. So when we look at the concluding line of the preceding stanza, when I am gone, so that doesn't imply his death. Rather, it implies that when he will be leaving his kingdom and will be embarking on a new voyage, so in his absence, who is going to govern the people of Ithaca? It is none other than his own son Telemachus. So here he says that there lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there gloom the dark broad seas. So now he could see the port, the sails of the ships being puffed by the blowing wind, and he could also see the broad seas. And seas may here may represent, danger. It may also represent or symbolize an unknown world that is yet to be explored. My mariners. So here he directly addresses his former crew and who traveled with him, faced hardships with him, and also acquired knowledge along with Ulysses. So here he directly addresses to his fellow mariners, to his fellow peers, saying that my mariner souls that have toiled, that you are the ones who once, worked very hard with me, travelled, acquired knowledge, and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads. You and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. So here in this stanza we find that Ulysses makes a direct address to his fellow mariners, those people who had accompanied him in his past adventures, toiled hard, labored hard, worked hard, faced hardships, and also acquired knowledge. So here Ulysses reminds them how, they always with much joy, with frolic welcome both good luck and misfortune, and they faced everything with every obstacle that came their way. They faced everything with bravery and resolution. And then he says that we have become old. Here Ulysses again acknowledges that they have grown old. You and I are old. But then at the same time he says that old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Yet, although they have become old, but still, even at this age, they can work hard and win and accomplish activities or accomplish tasks that can help them win respect from other people. So here we find that Ulysses is unyielding. That although he acknowledges the fact that he has grown old, but his spirit appears to be undefeatable. His spirit appears to be indomitable. Death closes all, but something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. So here says that death, since we are mortal beings, we are bound to die, and death will put an end to everything, every activity that we can still accomplish at this age. So he says that before we die, we still have the chance to do great deeds, and to accomplish great tasks. So what he tries to say to his mariners, to his fellow peers, is that since death will put an end to everything, it's high time that we should once again, embark on the last voyage before the end, and some work of noble note, that they can still accomplish something heroic before they die. So some work of noble note may yet be done. Although we have become old, still we have the potential to accomplish noble deeds, not unbecoming men that strove with God. So here he says that this is the kind of life that is fitting for people like us, for men like us, because we are the ones who once battled with gods, fought with gods. So it is not at all suitable for us to lead a life of idleness. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day winds, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. So it is night time, and the people of Ithaca, they have started lighting the lamps in their homes. The moon is also up in the sky, and as if the moaning of the sea, that the waves make a kind of sound which Ulysses feels as if they are murmuring, they are saying something to him. Now we can say that Ulysses feels as if the sea is calling him. Come, my friends, it's not too late to seek a newer world. So here he urges, he implores his former crew to join him on the last voyage. It is not too late to seek a newer world. So according to Ulysses, they are not too old that they cannot explore the world, or those parts of the world that are left unexplored. So they may be old, they may have become old, but they are not too old. They are not too old to see the unseen or to know the unknown. So therefore now in the next stanza we find that Ulysses he invites them to board on their ship, push their boat's ship and push it away from the shore to beat the waves. So he says, push off, and sitting well in order's might, the sounding furrows, that is the waves, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the horizon and the baths of all the western stars until I die. So here the idea is Ulysses says that his goal, even he is old, but still his goal is to travel beyond the horizon, as he had already mentioned before. And he wishes to travel, he wishes to go as far as possible before he ultimately dies, or until death. He wishes to explore more and more as far as possible. It may be. Now here in the following stanza, he talks about the consequences. He makes the fellow mariners aware of the consequences of their last voyage. So he says that it might happen that the waves, the fierce waves of the sea might devour them. Their boats, their ships, might get drowned by the waves. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down, so we might get sink. It may be we shall touch the happy isles. On one hand, he talks about a negative consequence where their ships might get drowned by the waves. And at the same time, he says that this might also happen where they may find their way to the happy isles, or to Elysium, where the souls of the blessed people go after death. And here he refers to their fellow warrior, their old companion Achilles. So he says that it might happen, we might die, or we might get the opportunity to visit Elysium, or heaven, where the souls of the dead, the blessed, dwell. And there we might get to meet our old companion Achilles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. And then again we find Ulysses becoming very realistic in his approach while talking to his friends. He says, though much is taken, yes, time and fate, both have cast their impact upon our life. So he says, though much is taken, that many of by which he means that many of their heroic qualities have diminished, have reduced, have lessened due to old age, or due to the harsh effects of old age. But much abides, but still much is left. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven. And then he says that though at present we do not have the strength, the degree of strength that we used to have when we were much younger, when we fought epic world-changing battles which shook earth and heaven, because we had enough strength because we had enough strength in the past, because we were much younger then. But now at this moment he says that they do not have the same strength. That which we are, but inside. So here he talks about the physical state as well as their mental state. So Ulysses says that as far as our physique is concerned, the physical strength has lessened much, it's true. But as far as our mind is concerned, inside we are still the same men. We are still brave. We still have the same minds and hearts, that are still brave in the face of adversities or in the face of danger and obstacles. One equal temper of heroic hearts. So that which we are of one equal temper of heroic hearts. So inside, they are ultimately, at the end of the day, they are the same men which they always were, which means that one equal temper of heroic heart. Their hearts and minds are still brave, and they are still ready. They still have the courage to face dangers and obstacles. Made weak by time and fate. So as far as our physical strength is concerned, yes, it has been weakened due to time, due to the effects of time and fate. Why fate? Here he uses the word fate in order to show, or in order to say that this is inevitable, because we are mortal beings. So it is inevitable that time would cast its effect, would cast its effect on us, and our strength will lessen with time. It is destined to happen to every one of us, but strong in will. But then, as far as our determination is concerned, we still have the same spirits, same determination, and our determination and our spirits are as strong as always. So finally, he says, therefore, since we still have the same spirit, we still continue to have the same determination, we still have the same courage to face dangers and obstacles. So what should we do? We should strive, we should struggle, we should work hard. To strive, to seek, we should pursue our goals, to find, accomplish our tasks, and not to yield. Meaning never surrender or never give up until we die. So this is what Ulysses is trying to say in order to persuade his fellow mariners, that before they die, although they have become old, there is still some time left to them. Therefore, before they die, they should utilize the time, because they still have the potential to follow knowledge. They still have the potential to acquire new experience, because although their physical strength has lessened much due to the effects of old age, yet they still have the same spirits and determination, and that determination is strong as ever, and therefore they should once again embark on the last voyage of their life. They should work hard, they should try to pursue their goals, accomplish noble deeds, and be determined not to give up or surrender. So with this we come to the end of the analysis of the poem. I hope you find this lecture helpful in understanding the poem Ulysses by Tennyson. So if you really like it, if you find this lecture helpful, then please do like it, share it, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Until then, bye bye.